All right, today we're going to take a look at this setup right here. This is the red VRaptor mounted on the DJI RS3 Pro with the Tilta ring. And I've been pretty happy with how this setup has come together. So normally we would run the VRaptor on a Movi Pro on a larger shoot where we have somebody pulling focus and we have enough crew to be able to handle extra equipment. But sometimes we have shoots where we need a little bit more of a running gun setup, something that's a little bit lighter. We do a lot of adventure outdoor work. And so to be able to hang off the side of a cliff with a smaller package is pretty helpful in a lot of different situations. And so I've been really happy with how this has come together. So I'm going to talk you through some of the quirks of this system and then some of the things that we put into making this work the way that we need it to work. So we have the VRaptor here. We have the Tilta breakout here at the top for control. I'm running the Ignite Digi keystone as well as a few other Ignite Digi accessories. We have the Tilta Nano, Nucleus Nano here on the front, which I've been pretty happy with. I got recently and it's performed well so far. We have the small rig matte box here on the front, which I will say I've not been really pleased with it up to this point. It is cheap. You get what you pay for. I'm a big fan of bright tangerine stuff. But I bought this one just to play around with, and so far it feels cheaply made. I've already broken a plastic piece on it, and I didn't do much to break that. So I'm going to keep playing with it, but it's something that I'm not sure I would recommend. We're running the Canon L Series 24-70 here on the front. I wouldn't always run a Canon L Series piece of glass on the VRaptor, but for some shoots it does make sense. But with the payload that we have here, there's plenty of space to be able to run a small anamorphic or a heavier piece of glass and still have everything function the way that it should. Here on the back, I actually have counterbalances that you can get from Small Rig. There's other people that make them as well, but these are the Small Rig ones, and I think we have 600 grams of counterbalance here, just to allow the camera to be a little bit more forward and to keep clearance all good here on the back with the cables. And so just have this rigged up here on the back, and this whole camera package alone only weighs 9.9 pounds. The RS3 Pro can handle up to 14 pounds, and so there's still some room in there to add a little more weight. Again, whether that's a lens or whatever else your setup may need, there's room to do that. So we have the RS3 Pro here, obviously, and we're running everything off of the V-mount battery down here. Tilta has this accessory that you can buy for the Tilta ring that allows you to mount V-mount batteries, gold mount batteries, to power the system. So this battery is powering the gimbal, but it is also powering the camera through DTAP output here on the bottom, and that's been working really well. Then this is the Tilta Advanced ring. So we have the hand controls here, and I have the controls set up to control the Nucleus Nano right now, which is great. You can add another one to control zoom if you need to, and it's been pretty great kind of getting used to how these guys work. And for a run and gun situation, it's something I'm fairly happy with. We're running the Small HD Cine 7 here at the top. I am powering the Cine 7 off of an MPF battery just to keep draw off of the V-mount. Tilta does make a DTAP accessory that mounts to the pins that you have here. There's 4 different sets of pins around the ring that you can mount accessories to that channel power throughout the ring, which I think is a really genius idea of getting power around a rig. But you can mount the DTAP here, and we could power the monitor off of the DTAP, but I'm not doing that at the moment. But overall, I've been pretty happy with how this setup has come together. I'm going to turn the handles on here and talk through those just a little bit. So you can see here that I have this one here on the right set up to control the Nucleus Nano. We'll turn the gimbal on as well here, and everything's going to come to life. And you can see the Nano here in the front doing what it should do. Works great. The setup between the Nano and the Ring was pretty effortless. I just had to set the channel. I had to have the transmitter down here that's provided by Tilta with the Ring. And once I had all that going, it started communicating immediately. I think it's really great because you can power the Nano off of the USB outlets on the RS3 Pro. And it's a pretty seamless setup. So I think that's pretty neat. It was a little bit difficult to get the joystick handle to cooperate and get it to wake up and start playing like it should. But after I figured it out, I had to dig a little bit on the internet. It came together just fine. You essentially have to hit the power button 3 times to get into a menu mode. And then you scroll down to easy mode, you hit the M, it starts searching for the gimbal. You hit the transmitter down here twice, the power button on that twice. They will sync up. You will see a 1 show up here. You hit the M and they're synced and ready to go. Now the only downside to this, because of the weight, that I'm not the biggest fan of, is you can see whenever you pan, it will shake a little bit. And so that's a little bit of a downside, but again, I'm not using the joystick hardly ever. And for your tilt works just great. And so again, this whole setup for my needs has actually worked really well. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what that looks like. You can see the gimbal is not struggling. Everything is working just fine. We have our focus happening here in the front. And the whole payload is not bad at all. I haven't weighed this whole setup on its own, but it's really something that, especially with an easy rig, you could use this for a long time and not get it exhausted. So I've been really happy with this setup, happy with how it has come together. So hopefully this helps some of you guys that are potentially looking at a smaller setup for a VRaptor. It can be done, and I'm a fan.